The internet has changed life on Earth, and those changes happened fast. It has brought people closer together in new ways and keeps people connected around the globe. Technology stakeholders shared their predictions at the 2005 Accelerating Change Conference at Stanford University.
The World Wide Web, the mouse kind of graphical interface are examples of things that really changed how people spend their days now, and also accelerated the ability of other people to develop other technologies and to share their knowledge and more effectively collaborate to build new technologies.
But the world isn't getting smaller, it's getting faster.
The internet currently transmits about 10 trillion bits a second collectively around the world.
And faster.
We're in the information technology era.
And faster.
I think that the future has in store an evolving world economy that gets richer in some places and poorer in others as a result of whether countries are importing or exporting learning curves.
Depending on how you look at it, that quickening pace is either the problem or the solution.
You have good opportunities, you have bad opportunities, and you have other opportunities. There's always something happening. Life is always going to be changing. With the power of the internet and intercommunication, you have people from different cultures from all over the world who are actually talking to each other for the first time.
But with all the benefits and all the shortcomings of the networked world, the internet itself won't change much. What we know of as the internet will, of course, continue to get faster and provide information to more people more efficiently. But some say we need to start taking a close look at technology as a whole, because before long, it could fly out of our grasp.
Very plausible that we will have computation and networking that is comparable to the power of the human mind.
Vernor Vinge coined the term singularity as the point when technological progress accelerates to infinity, a function of exponential growth.
If things are changing exponentially, that means that solutions to problems will come faster and faster. The miniaturization of electronics, being able to pack more and more transistors onto a chip, will enable electronics to be used in ways that people aren't even thinking about now because it's not physically possible now. But in a few years it will be. And the rate at which those kinds of things will become possible happens ever faster because of the acceleration.
Now imagine a world where technology surpasses the abilities of the human mind, strong artificial intelligence. No one knows what might happen if strong AI develops.
The singularity people are talking about at this conference tends to focus on the advent of strong AI, an artificial intelligence that would go on and go beyond the ability of any human to keep up.
Technology learns 10 million times faster than you do.
So at that point you have things that are actually of greater than human intelligence in every way that we think of human intelligence. And after that happens, you're in a different sort of progress area. It's not like progress in the past.
Without a human in the loop, you can imagine that accelerating almost without limit. And that's the big singularity. And this is the hard takeoff versus soft takeoff.
Well, the singularity for me will happen in a nanosecond. All the lights will go out. We will have no access to computation or communication, and that's it.
Ideas of what the singularity means for human life are as varied as the ideas of what is actually going to cause the singularity. Most futurists agree that the advancements produced by the accelerating rate of technological development are almost unimaginable.
Computer screens, you want stimuli you can get in classes, stimuli all over, and stimuli that are meant to portray concepts symbolically by symbols of
that on one hand it will enable you to cure diseases, for example, but on the other hand it will also do things, if they're out there, humans will use them, and I don't think it would be good.
Artificial intelligence and nanotechnology could cure the incurable and make death an ancient idea.
I think really marvelous things are happening in that area right now, and even more marvelous, there's going to be synergism between the biological advances and the technological in terms of nanotechnology and MEMS being applied in the biological area.
The future will bring automation that can reduce the risks and make the world a better place to live, because I can have collision avoidance systems built into my car. I can have predictive techniques that would help me understand where's the best place to drive, the safest place to drive, the fastest to get between this location and that one.
I think you're going to see a breaking down barriers between, this is a game and this is an educational experience and this is a social environment. Second Life's demonstrating that to a certain degree. So I sort of see the gaming thing becoming, in a sense, a lot more accessible for people to create experience. Becomes part of the social framework as opposed to a box that you buy. And I think that's really interesting. And I expect you're going to see some really wonderful things come out of that. Anytime you have the unleashing of capabilities, you have a huge rejection, desire for retaining control, right? In the end, all that can do is slow it down. It can't stop it, but it's unfortunately those inefficiencies are part of the social framework.
You're going to be talking to your computer, and it's going to start, answering your sentences when you have a senior moment and suggesting what the thought is that you had in your head. You're not going to need, something jacked into the back of your head, and the social stigma and the weirdness and the class separation that could come with those kinds of things. So I think we're actually going to have conversations about these issues over the next 20 years.
But even human survival is in question. There are no guarantees that artificial intelligence will be human-friendly.
What I think will happen once we reach the singularity, it'll be really, really hard landing. What will happen most likely is computers will look around, look at their environment, and all these cycles being wasted on people and all the electricity being wasted on people, they'll just turn it off.
It's quite possible with as we heard Werner Vinge and Kurzweil this morning, it's quite possible that when AI arrives, it has absolutely no use for humans. And so this sort of optimistic idea that humans will be allowed to continue living and running around the world consuming resources when they're a relic is probably just our own anthropomorphic romanticism with the AI topic.
The risks involved are frightening, and if technology forecasters are right, there's no way we can stop the arrival of the singularity, short of stopping technological progress. So with no options and no turning back, we can only march toward the future and wonder what's in store.
I am not trying to peddle as a religion. I'm just saying we are talking very high stakes here. We're talking about fundamental issues of being and all the things that philosophers think are important. They're all coming together here.
There's lots of potential downsides, not lots of potential upsides. And when we compare the rate and the benefits of change that are going on there versus the rate and the benefits of change that are going on in information technology, I think we may make the decision to slow down a lot of the biotech experimentation at the mammalian level and above, right? Except with regard to research to understand systems to cure disease.
This is what really scares me. Nobody on the planet has the power not to stop the development or to slow it down, but to even discuss it intelligently.
So it's the technology that makes this possible. But just because something's possible doesn't mean it will necessarily happen or even that it's necessarily desirable.
I'm an optimist. I'm not scared about the future. I mean, even, what's the worst thing that could happen? Even if an asteroid hit the planet, okay? If I were to survive, if I didn't survive, well, that would answer a different question that I have.
I don't have a Pollyanna attitude. I don't think that, bad things won't happen. I think that obviously recent experience has shown us that bad things do happen and they will continue to happen. But I think that humanity will cope with those things and that our capability of coping will increase in step with the threats that might arise.
The good that could come is the attainment of, probably the attainment of any goal or good that you can state in a concrete way.
It will be both.
it'll be a good scary place, if you like a good scare. What it is that it will be what we want it to be. It will be what we make it out to be. If we take an active role in shaping it, I think it'll be a good world. If we let it slip and let it evolve to wherever it is, then it'll be a very scary place.
Despite all the theories on when and how the world will change, no one knows whether those predicted changes are even possible. Every idea is based on theories that, while they seem likely, can't be specifically proven. Nothing is clear-cut.
I'm not convinced that that's really the true thing. If you go back and look at any of the historical or classical or religious writings, love is a far more powerful intrinsic, I think, than artificial intelligence. And so I think there may be other human virtues that would drive the singularity rather than the technological focus that I see here.
Well, I think that the singularity is only a singularity from the perspective of this side of the equation.
Oh, well, it's inevitable, so we might as well. There's one argument that says we'll just live like Rome, you know, enjoy our last years while we can. And however, we don't, so it's inevitable, we can't.
So I'm excited about the future. I'm excited about all the things that I can't even think about now that are going to come about and that are going to challenge me and keep me intellectually involved in what's going on. Because there'll always be a new challenge, there'll always be new things coming out that I can get involved in and that I can maybe contribute to and contribute to humanity in all life.
It may be just a question of timing, that over the long term that there will be some strong AI that comes. I can't see that yet.
Consciousness is not an effect of quantity or miniaturization or Moore's law or any of these other phenomena. I think information is intrinsically different from physics and chemistry. No amount of studying and mastery of the physics and chemistry in some nanotechnology goal can allow you to understand consciousness, content, information, all these other phenomena that are central to life. Life is about information. That's what differentiates life from other forms.
Intellectually, I absolutely buy into it. Emotionally, humanistically, I absolutely do not. And I think that may be more of a matter of resistance and fear than it is necessarily what's actually realistically going to happen. I think there's something integral and innate in a person's humanity that will never allow that point to actually occur.
You turn away, you look back, the world's going to be twice as interesting for the rest of our natural lives.
I think we have a good shot at it being a good place beyond our wildest dreams.